Let's check out an interesting update to an older Mandela effect that I've never covered before. Let's talk about the Ford logo. Many people don't remember the Ford logo having this strange curl at the end of the F. You can see it right here. But officially, it's always been there. This weird detail has been talked about and debated over for a really long time. People swear the swirl used to exist. Some will say, hey, look at this Ford key, it doesn't have a swirl. And then others will say, well, look at this Ford key, it does have a swirl. The argument goes back and forth, and they've talked about this for over a decade. Officially, and by that I mean Ford, the company, swears that the swirl has always been there, while others who remember differently have argued it hasn't. They even point to the signature of Henry Ford himself as proof that the swirl was not originally there. And hey, that's a pretty compelling argument. The Ford logo is indeed based off of Henry Ford's signature, and there isn't a swirl there. So now that you're caught up, let's check out today's update. Recently, I was doing some digging on this topic, and I found a thread talking about classic Ford wrenches. You see, back in the day, and when I say that, I mean over 100 years ago, when you bought a car, they gave you the tools to maintain it. Imagine that. Nowadays, you drown in debt for a Ford that spies on you, so it knows what targeted ads to play when you're stopped at red lights. No, I'm not joking. Ford literally holds patents on both ads that play when you stop, and how it can eavesdrop on you to play targeted ads. This is the bad place. Anyway, I found images showing some of these Ford wrenches from 1917, and they indeed have the dreaded swirl. So yes, even with all the residue, counter memories, and Henry Ford's signature, the F in the Ford logo has apparently always had that little swirl. Unless the Mandela effect can also somehow change metal wrenches, or at least photos of metal wrenches, which is actually a super creepy thought. Think about it, if the Mandela effect is indeed real, and it has changed hundreds of things that we know of, how far can these changes go? We know that photos and videos can be altered, data can be deleted and written over, statues and paintings can change, historical events can be deleted and added, like in the Black Tom explosion, my favorite Mandela effect. Go watch that video right there, link in the description. Honestly, the Mandela effect is so creepy, but that's why I love talking about it. So what do you think? Do you remember the little swirl in the Ford logo? Or has it always been there? I'd love to hear your thoughts.